Hello everyone. Thought I'd do a stream tonight because I'm kind of bored. But anyway, this is the our first night at sea, pretty much after leaving Lisbon. You can see we started the race 14 hours, just about 15 hours ago. Yeah, big seas. I mean, this is nasty out here. We got huge waves, a lot of wind, as they predicted for the first few days of this leg. And I'm kind of just balancing everything here for the time being, trying to keep my boat speed up. The wind's up and down. The wind's been going between about 19 knots and 30, so trying to keep the boat speed up. I've been with sail trim. I've been able to keep the boat speed maybe 13, 14, 15, 16 knots in that area, and that's what I'm looking for. You know, we're not doing that good right now because I'm coming off the back of a wave. A lot of spray going on, but we just turned south. I want to get away from this group up here. There's no wind out to the west here, and if we look at this, you can kind of tell I'm about we're not as fast as the other boats, the real Volvo Ocean Race boats that I'm looking at right here, so I'm assuming that I'm in this area. And you can tell that big group of boats right here is continuing to head west, and it's pushing them farther away from our target, which is, you know, going south towards Cape Town and into this shitty area right here where there's really no wind. And if you go too far west and they end up in this, they're going to be screwed. So I did what the real VOR guys did, and I turned south, as did a lot of people over here. A lot of people followed me, actually. As soon as I turned south, this whole group over here to my port side turned south as well, and we're just trying to stick in the better wind. I don't know where these guys are going. This group right here is definitely losing a ton of ground right now because they're about 50 miles behind me. But it's a long race. I mean, I was just doing some calculations, and I'm not sure how accurate this is, but I'm really hoping it's not accurate. But I pretty much, this looks like a child in kindergarten on a chalkboard. But I apologize for that. But anyway, I figured the first leg of the simulated Volvo Ocean Race, of course, we don't have the same boats as the... wow, we just took a huge wave to the face here. And another one. We're getting drenched. But anyway, I figured we don't have the same boats as the guys in the Volvo Ocean Race, you know, with the VOR 65s. So we're not as quick as them, so we're going to be quite a ways behind them. We finished 2 days behind them, a day and a half behind them, from Alicante into Lisbon. So I'm assuming that on a leg that's 4 or 5 times as long as that first leg was, that we're going to be even farther behind. And it's a bit unfortunate because you know, my calculations show me that the first leg was 1450 nautical miles, and it took us about 8 days on average. Most of the finishers finished in about 8 days. This leg from Lisbon to Cape Town, unfortunately, is 7,000 miles, and if you do the math, basic proportions, it's stating that it's gonna take us 38 days, and I was guessing 25 to 30 days, but I'm hoping that this math is really wrong. Because if it takes us 38 days to get to Cape Town, we're not going to be there in time for the start of Leg 3, which is Cape Town to Melbourne. So the timing's not going to work out. And I know the developers of this game are probably hearing everyone's cries about making the actual VOR 65 boat for this game. Even though it's still in early access, there's a lot of work to be done. But we need it. And I know that me and a bunch of other people would probably pay for it. We'd help develop it, whatever. But yeah, we need the boat that, you know, can pick up at the speeds that the VOR 65s can do, because I'm going downwind at about, you know, averaging 12, 13, 14 knots. But if you look at the VOR guys, I mean, they're doing speed over ground 22. They were doing 32 earlier, you know, 21. They're about doing the same. 21, yeah. 18. Well, they're not doing that good. Mott Frey's in the lead. They're doing 20. But when they were over here, all the boats were doing about 30 knots. I mean, it was ridiculous. And they're able to put up like you know, 3 different foresails, where we can't do that on this boat. So we're at a huge disadvantage with, and I know this boat was made for doing races like this, the 50-foot performance boat, but it's just not up to the task of going around the world. So even though this game is in early access and the developers are doing an amazing job, you know, there's a lot to look forward to. And I'm hoping we get the VOR 65 because then we'll be able to keep up with the real life guys, but we'll just have to give it some time and see what happens. There's a lot of work to be done in this game still. I think the potential for it is absolutely huge. I think the developers started out as like, oh, let's just see if this works, you know, making a sailing game that includes the entire world. I mean, there's so much detail in the entire world that you got to include. It's absolutely ridiculous, and the job that they're doing so far for an early access game is amazing. And it might seem like I'm bitching sometimes, but it's not. I mean, I'm completely grateful for all the work that the developers are doing, especially Richard. But I see the potential for what a game like this can be now, and I obviously see what games like this are capable of. Let me get a reef out of here. Maybe that will get my boat speed up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm trying to keep, like I said, 13, 14, 15 knots, and the wind speed just dropped way off. So I've been playing with the reef on the mainsail all night pretty much. I tried, I had the jib out and the number 4 jib, and it just didn't work out with this angle that I want right here. I want to come south down towards the Canary Islands, and then we're gonna drive back out west, or yeah, west. And then this is a couple days out. I mean, we'll have to. This is probably actually a week out, but we'll have to figure out what the wind does, and then make our way around. You know, I believe the doldrums are going to be in this area, and if you look at this map, you can kind of tell that currently there's no wind off of this peak of Africa right here. I mean, you know, half a knot of wind right there. It would suck to be in here because this is such a big distance to cover. So it's like, well, if you were here right now, would you punch through this, or would you come all the way over to South America here and work your way over here? Because it's a huge disadvantage right now where it looks like coming off of Cape. Oh, there's a ton of wind out. Oh my God, 35 knots. Well, if this was the Cape Town to Melbourne leg, this would be fun right here. But anyway, you know, you gotta understand that it looks like if we were down here right now and we were going to Cape Town, we'd be beating the entire way there. And so you gotta figure, is it worth it to punch your way through the doldrums here where there's no wind and you'd be drifting for probably days, 3-4 days? Or would it pay off to come way the hell over here, hundreds, maybe even thousands of miles, to end up just beating a further distance, you know? This is kind of the shortcut, but there's no wind here, so it's very difficult tactics that are going to be happening in the next few weeks of this race. And but for right now, we have a very, very strong wind off the northwest coast of Africa that we're just flying with right now. For right now, the next few days, it looks like 3-4 days that we're going to be able to just coast along south with this. Like I said, towards the Canaries, and then we'll just, you know, we'll head south, jibe out west every once in a while, and try to stay ahead of the pack. That's what I'm doing right now, is I'm breaking away from the pack. This big group right here, these guys continue out west. I told you there's really no wind out there, so we're just... These guys made the right call over here towards my my east. They're going south a lot earlier than anybody, so I don't think I'll be able to catch Chris Sailability or this guy right here, Storm Petrol, anytime soon. A bunch of guys. Kind of just playing follow the leader over there. Let's see, we're losing some boat speed. I need to put a main reef in here. There we go, look at that. One extra reefing and we go up to 15 knots from 12. So we're flying. I mean, it's going to be downwind for a couple days. Like I said, these boats are not the best for this type of race, but we're doing what we can. The leaderboard, as far as any update videos I make, if you see me looking at the leaderboard, this really means nothing because this is a point A to point B type of race, and there's no waypoints this time, which is good because they've had a few bugs with them. A little disappointing that we didn't have an import section for the start of this race, but I mean, like it says I'm in 18th right now, but this is all the way to Cape Town. And I know the race is supposed to be 7,000 miles, and this only says 4605, but that's due to if you look here on my map, that's reading this straight line, this green line. So it's just a straight line between Cape Town and Lisbon, where the 7,000 miles is going to be around this way, the way that we actually have to sail to get there. Zoom back in on the fleet here. There's so many boats in this fleet, and a lot of guys are far behind. I'm not sure if these guys way back here in the race, or if they're just following us. This guy definitely is in the race. I don't know, he's not paying attention because he was ahead of me at the start, and he's way off now. I mean, he's a good, I don't know, hundreds of miles behind me now. I don't know what he did. But huge mistakes there. Alright, we gotta take a reef out of the main here because the wind speed just dropped way off to 19. Very inconsistent winds, as strong as it was supposed to be. I mean, like I said, this is as low as I've seen it, about 19. It's going as high as 30. I mean, it's ridiculous. But we got a nice, almost full moon. There was a full moon last night, so it's lighting up the ocean for us. Let's see. I have no boat speed right now, and I don't have a reef in, so what the hell? There we go. Okay. Just waiting for that wind to pick back up again. So we got... Let's put a reef in here. It's kind of ridiculous. We gotta keep putting reefs in and out. Get rid of that. I really hope that math is not correct. That would be ridiculous if it took us 38 days to get there. We wouldn't be there in time for the start of Lake 3. Alright, we got above this reef again. That wind speed's picking back up. So inconsistent. I mean, like I said, it's 19, now it's up to 23. It'll probably be 26 here shortly. I'm just trying to keep that boat speed up above 13. It's just really hard to do. Who is this coming across my bow? Cedric? He's miles ahead, about 5 miles out, 7 miles out, yeah. We'll be alright. That's the thing, I mean, on the map here, it looks like everybody's so... If it loads everybody, come on. This map is so buggy. Like, all the other boats that are online just disappeared. There they are. Okay. Yeah, it looks like everyone's so close, but they're not. Alright, let's put the rest of the full main reef in here. I mean, if I try to look around for anybody on the horizon... Oops, did not want to do that. Obviously, with it being nighttime as well, I'm not going to see anybody. But we're all split apart by, 10 miles at least. There we go, this is what I want. 14, 15 knots of boat speed. If the wind stayed consistent, it'd be great, but it's up and down like crazy tonight. And all we're trying to do is just break our way south and try to... Where is Chris Sailability? Is he not showing up? I know he was up there with this guy. This guy we're not going to be able to catch really for... Oh, there he is. We're trying to catch these two guys. I think they got the jump on everyone. The rest of this fleet here, I'm not so sure about what they're doing, but they're going to fall behind. But, anyway, you know, it's going to be a 20, 30 some odd day race. You know, this race is not going to be won in the first couple of days, I can tell you that. Alright, let's take a reef back out, because we're losing boat speed. 11, watch it jump back up. Take another one out. Should come above 13 right now. There we go, 12.9, 13.1, there we go. It's terrible, I keep making constant adjustments to the sail area. Where, you know, on here I can press a button on my keyboard and adjust the reef of the main, but can you imagine in real life? You wouldn't be able to make an adjustment that quick. That's why, you know, I think the VOR guys, they're last I checked they were flying, let's take a look here. They were flying the J4, the J3, the J2, and the Code 0, some of them. I mean, some of them had like 3 or maybe even more foresails up. It was ridiculous. And we don't have those type of choices in this boat, unfortunately, in this game. You go with your jibs or you go with your Jenniker. Okay, good. We dropped our Traveler off. That's good. That's where it's supposed to be. Yep, sail trim looks good. Tails are flying. Nothing much I can do for right now. Just head south. Let's see. It should be sunset, or sunset, Jesus, sunrise in the next 3 hours. I might start streaming again when that happens, because it's absolutely beautiful over this way. When that happens, wow, we're coming off a major wave here. Let's see, 23 knots. Do I need to reef it again? Not right now. Let it get up to 24, 25, and I'll reef. There we go. It's going to be a long month of sailing, I can tell you that much. Yeah, so far Mopfrey's already got a 20-mile lead over second place. Was it Dongfang? Yeah. Not so shabby. The Americans aren't doing that good so far. They're way back. This orange boat right here. Hopefully they'll recover from that. I mean, it's a long race. Yeah, I tell you, if we were arriving in Cape Town right now, this would be a pretty exciting beating adventure right here. 20 to 25 knots on the nose, that wouldn't be fun. Oops, where are we? Zoom back in. Thank you. Oh, we got a trim again here. And wind speed again down to 19. It's not really cool. Just trying to do better than the guys around me right now. This whole group that went south with me right here, I'm trying to get an edge on them, which I know I have quite a ways to get up on Cedric, Bionic. This whole group here, just trying to. It's pretty much a drag race. There we go. Here's some power. But we're already breaking a nice separation here from this other fleet that whenever these guys get online, they'll probably realize that they need to turn south. A lot of them are. These guys are starting to turn south. But there's a ton of guys that are just losing out completely. It's a huge fleet. Anybody can win this race, and this whole group right here, believe it or not. I think I'll be on for a little while, streaming. I don't really care. Let's see. One watching. Well, a lot of people watch afterwards, so it's fine. Star Class. I love watching Star Class races. I want to own one. These boats are beautiful.
After a general recall, racing got off to a bang with current leaders Rohart Ponceau.
I would need someone to sail with, though. Two-person boats. To me, it's like a giant sunfish with a jib. That's what it looks like. But these boats are beautiful. I love those things. There's one for sale. It's been for sale here in my my hometown forever, but it's a complete disaster. I feel like it would take at least 10 grand and like a ton of labor to get the thing even looking anywhat like a sailboat again. What do we got going on here? I need the reef again, probably. Alright. Get that boat speed up. 13, alright, good. We have Cedric. Are we gonna cross him? No, I don't know. I don't know what his boat speed is right now. He might cross us. But yeah, leg one. Let's see here. Let's extend this. If you remember correctly, we came up from, where was Alicante? Over here. Right here. And we ran some good wind in the Mediterranean Sea, ended up going south, making a nice tactical call. We were in 8th place coming through the Gibraltar Straits, and then once we got out of the Gibraltar Straits, it all fell apart for us. Had a lot of bugs with the game. Obviously, the game being in early access, there was a few bugs. One time I logged off and it made a waypoint back here, and I didn't even make a waypoint, but so my boat started sailing backwards for about 6 to 8 hours. And I lost probably like 20 positions, but I woke up, got back on, and fixed that. Ended up rounding Porto Santo. So this was a pretty long leg too. It was only 1,450 miles, but you know, going all the way through here, there was no wind for this area here. That was terrible. A whole day of no wind. Rounding the Porto Santo Island before Madeira, and then all the way up to Lisbon. It was bittersweet arriving in Lisbon, as I'm sure arriving in Cape Town is going to feel after 20 to 30 days at sea, maybe even more. But yeah, that was a rough race just because of the bugs in the game, and we could have finished in the top 10, and we ended up finishing 29th, which I'm paying attention to because I think I'm not gonna trust anything. Well, I'm not sure if the developers or whoever made this race is paying attention to points or anything that you know, places that people are coming in on every leg, but I'm kind of keeping score, and I'm coming in 29th on the first leg. I got a lot of ground to make up to catch up with the guys who came in the top 10. So far, the guys that came in the top 10 on leg 1 are not even anywhere close towards the front. On leg 2, I mean, he's you know, Blackborough's way back. Blackborough came in second on leg 1, and where is the other guy? Wouldn't you like to know? Where the hell is he? I might have passed him because he wasn't up here, that's for sure. Anyway. Yeah. A lot of guys that were in the top 10 are having issues on leg 2. So, it's interesting. You know, and I had just bought this game about 4 days before the Volvo Ocean Race simulation kicked off, so I still wasn't used to like what to expect as far as the user interface and any kind of bugs with mark roundings or anything like that, so that caught me off guard. But now that I'm used to it, I'm hoping to do better on leg 2. I was busy all day today trying to, let's see, my uncle was in town from California. I was with my grandfather, and he usually goes to Arizona for the winters, and he's decided to stay in New York with me this winter, so I was trying to help start his snowblower. His snowblower hasn't run in probably 10 years, so I tore the whole damn thing apart. It was disgusting. I still smell like gasoline. I got it all over me. Yeah, it's probably like gummed up 10-year-old gasoline, but so, you know, I would have liked to log on earlier and made the drive to the south with this group, but obviously I have a life and I was busy doing other things with family, and I think I didn't log on until 12 hours. I think this clicked out like 12 hours, 13 hours before or after the race start. So I was still heading towards the southwest with this group, and I was like, whoa, I need to, you know, I was looking at the weather before I even logged on, and I figured I had to drive south, so I was a little late. If I would have got on a few hours earlier, I'd probably be right in the middle of this pack right here, maybe right behind Storm Petrol or here, maybe even just in front of this guy Zen. But, you know, things happen. I have a life. I can't be on this game all the time. I look at the weather, I look at the future weather, and I try to set waypoints accordingly to what I think the weather's going to do for the next 12 to 15 hours, so that I can live my life, go to work and everything like that, and hopefully by the time I get home I've made the right decision, and then I can look at the weather maps again and make some adjustments from there. But some of these guys, you know, I'm sailing by myself. Some of these guys got crew with them, so they can log off and go to sleep, and one of their friends will take over the boat and start sailing it, which is a huge advantage. But I don't have that yet. I haven't met anybody that wants to crew for me yet, as I'm still new to this game. I'm still meeting people, and so basically, if I can't be on the computer, it's, you know, I'm relying on the computer to sail the boat for me, which isn't really trustworthy, but it's the only choice I have. The guys that usually finish in the top 10 have full crews, you know, 3 or 4 guys that are sailing the boat with him. You know, so if I had a friend that was on here playing this game with me, I would log off and he would take over. You know, maybe he lives in a different time zone or something, so I was able to go to sleep and he'd take over during maybe what was morning or afternoon in his time. And it's a huge advantage when you can actually sail these manually instead of letting the computer do it, because you can make some really big calls and sail trim choices that are 80% better than what the game's going to do for you. But that's the pros and cons, I guess. Is this guy... who is this guy? Oh, that's Storm... wow, he's that far ahead of me. Holy shit. Well, when I zoomed in on the map, he looks a lot farther out than he actually is, but it's still a really far distance. What we got? 4558. 4601. I mean, it's crazy that he's 50 miles ahead of me. I mean, I don't know how I lost that much ground on these guys. So these guys are about 50 miles ahead of me currently, and these guys are about 50 miles to 100 miles behind me. I mean, that's how crazy it is. Like, this whole pack is about 40 to 50 miles behind me. This large group up here, including the guy who was leading us out of Lisbon Harbor pretty much, they're over 100 miles behind me already, and this is just 15 hours after the race starts, so it's absolutely crazy how much of a difference one day has made so far. Do I have to need to take this reef out? Yeah, let's do it. Nope, wrong way. There we go. We're at 33%, thank you. 33, stay there. Jennifer looks good. I mean, so far we're doing good on sail trim, I just can't. You know, the wind's not very consistent, so we're constantly making adjustments. And we're heading due south. This is exactly what I want, so it's very good conditions right now. Watch that true wind speed of 20. If that goes up anymore, we're gonna have to add another reef. Yeah, I plan on being on for about another 3 to 4 hours tonight. It's a huge advantage when you're able to sail it manually instead of having the computer sail for you. So yeah, I've already made up a ton of ground with this jibe to the south, and then doing the sail trim by myself. Yeah, maybe like keep the boat speed at like 13, 14, 15, and I think the computer would struggle to do that. Let's see, 22. Came off the back of a wave there, that's why we lost so much speed. Back stay about 50-50. I think I'll leave it there. Let my back stay off a little bit more. Trying to get some more shape in that foresail, or the Jenniker. Oops, what do we got here? Jib lead car. Don't need to adjust that really. We don't have the jib out. So we got Cedric definitely crossed ahead of us. I didn't even see him, so he's a ways off. I think at least 5 miles ahead of us. But we are definitely catching up with this group over here. And Bionic, we're about to pass Bionic. How you ever fucking pronounce that, I don't know, but we're about to pass him too. I'm not going to say that because it sounds dirty. Pump Rogue. I said it anyway. Pump Rogue. It sounds so fucking dirty. But I'm sure we'll pass him in the next few hours. John, we've passed him. We're making up on this group that went south earlier. And I think the only guys are probably the guys that are way down here. You know, Chris Sailaway, what the hell? Sailability. They're not showing up. Maybe they will in a second here, but you know the guys that are there we go. Storm Petrol, Chris Sailability. These guys all made the turn really early, and it's gonna take us a while to catch up with them, I think. But we're not doing so bad. I mean, we got to keep it up for quite a while, but almost a whole month. But you know, we're ahead of this whole group right here, which is kind of rewarding. But like I said, it's only after one day. We have a lot more to come. A lot more decisions to make, a lot more tactical decisions to make, rather. So let this reef out, I believe. Maybe 20.7. Just optimizing boat speed right now and sail with the sail trim. That's all I can do. I'm not seeing the 30 knots that too often of what they predicted. I'm seeing like 19 to 24. Which is what this has been saying, but I don't know. When they first came out of Lisbon, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna have 30 knot gusts, 30 knot breeze for the next 4 days," and I'm not seeing that anywhere. Seeing about 15 to 20, 21, 22. But it's weird that, you know, this race goes around the world, and we came out of Alicante went around Porto Santo by Madeira and then up to Lisbon. And now, that was kind of going backwards. So now we're coming out of Lisbon and going past where we came from, and then down to South Africa. So it's kind of crazy. It's like I've been in these seas like a week ago. You know, we rounded Porto Santo. I came up this way to go to Lisbon, and now we're coming down. Dude, I got a reef. I got a reef. Holy shit. Pay attention. That's how quickly things change. If you look away for 1 second, you lose a ton of boat speed. Well, I think I'll leave the stream here. It's kind of a night one. Not really a hell of a lot of action going on, just a lot of sail trim. I think we'll make for our leg 2 video, we'll make an update video here after, you know, post day 1, or, you know, once the sunrise comes up over here where we get some beautiful scenery. And we'll just add that to the video that we end up uploading after the end of all of this long 30-day race. Hoping I do well, hoping I gotta unreef here, hold on. This wind changes so quickly, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, we'll make another movie kind of summing up leg 2. Hopefully we do well. Hopefully we come in the top 10. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm aiming for. Need some more backstay, I believe, here. Get up to 52. Nope, nope. Less backstay. And the wind just dropped off completely from us. 17 is about as low as I've seen all night. Anyway, we'll end this stream and probably be on either tomorrow or the day after for a little while, depending on what kind of action's going on. And we should have sunrise in the next 2 hours, 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and then we'll make an update video while we have something pretty to look at.